Hi, my name is Ashley Forsyth, and I am the owner of Health and Fitness Meals and Your Way Nutrition here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today I have with me Andi. Andi, I'm embarrassed I still can't say your last name.
Oh, Veenker.
Andi Veenker. And Andi is the owner of Maree Fitness, and that is she's an online training coach. She does a lot of her marketing through social media like Instagram, so you can catch her tag right there underneath her name. And the unique thing about Andi's business is that she focuses on like holistic health. So like transformations from the inside out. We're focusing on self-care and not just total weight loss.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Andi. Why don't you, did you want to add to that a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I have been doing fitness and personal training for the last decade. I can say decade now, which is awesome. And I have found through personal experience as well as through training and group fitness that change doesn't last unless you focus on the inside first. So making sure that you're starting from a place of positivity and self-love and then growing from there instead of like starting at like, oh, I hate the way I look. It's more of like, I'm doing this because I want to be my very, very best. And so I provide the tools to help women around the world do that. And it's been amazing.
Awesome. So you have been doing it for 10 years. Has your primary platform been your social media this whole time?
So my primary platform has mostly just been like, I guess, in-person stuff. I've really dived into social media in the last maybe 3 years. The rest has just been all in-person stuff, and so it's been kind of fun to learn the social media and online side.
So tell me about how you marketed yourself before social media. I'm curious.
Sorry, say that one more time.
How did you market yourself before social media?
Lots of word of mouth. So I used to shamelessly go around and like post flyers everywhere, or I'd tell my friends being like, hey, if you guys like this class, make sure you like bring at least 8 friends with you, or if you like what you see, tell at least 8 people. For some reason, I always told 8 people, tell 8 friends. And if you don't have 8 friends, it's okay. You can count me as 1 and then find 7 more.
I did personal training, and it's so much word of mouth. You work with people, they have a good experience, and they spread the word. And I probably aged myself too, because I've been doing fitness for the last decade. So I was really before I even had an Instagram or even knew what it was, I think. But anyway, so I'm going to say a little bit about you and how I know you. So Andi and we actually know each other because we were on the same training team. We worked with Jeff and Jenny later, both of us. So I see you at we just saw each other on our group page. And then I saw you at like a Christmas party, and I was already following you. And I love following you because like you were saying, you focus on whole health and like happiness. And so you have a very good outlook and like positive body image. My favorite thing that you just posted, and I think I'm going to talk about it because I think it represents you really well, is you did that picture that was before, after. And the first one was, I don't want to say before you were into fitness, but probably before you figured out what was really going to work for you really well in your body. And
after my last baby.
After your last baby. So it was like a post male body, obviously. So there's that. And then there was your competition pictures where you're crazy, crazy lean. And then there was your right now where you're happy, you're maintaining. And the really cool thing, it wasn't even like before and after transformation, your titles were happy, happy, happy. And I really, really like that. So tell me a little bit about that and like how you encourage your clients to just be happy with themselves.
So if it's okay, I'll dive into a little bit of my story and like why that happened. It didn't used to be like that for me forever. It actually just happened after my first baby. So my baby is 5 years old now, so I guess he's not a baby. But after I had my first baby, I was so used to being like super fit. I had done a bikini competition, then I got pregnant and did all this stuff. And so I kind of had this body image of like, I have to be hot, I have to be whatever, like you have this like idea of what you're supposed to be. And after I had my baby, no one told me that your body is a complete mess after you have a baby, that you don't look exactly the way you did before, like right after you deliver, or that your body doesn't actually bounce back the way people say it does, or that it will. And so I had a complete breakdown. Like I was over cardioing, I was under eating, I was neglecting, not neglecting, but I wasn't like fully diving into mom mode because I was so consumed with my own appearance and so consumed with how awful I felt about myself. And so it actually ended up spinning me into this awful postpartum depression that was like a suicidal depression, that it just got to a point that it was so painful that I couldn't handle what I saw, that I just didn't even want to be here anymore. And so after I had, I got a lot of help. I went to, you know, like medical help, mental health, and I ended up trying to kind of build this relationship, even spiritual help, trying to build this relationship, trying to be like, hey, I need to love myself the way I am because it's not going to get any different, you know, and like I don't want to be miserable and alive kind of thing. I'm not going to live if I'm not happy. And so then I was like borderline sane when I found out I was pregnant with my second baby. Good mix. But then I was like so sick through that pregnancy, I couldn't do anything. I was bed rested immediately. I had to drop all my fitness classes. I couldn't even eat anything. I was just like constantly dehydrated and sick. And so I could have chosen to like fall back into that depression because I wasn't myself. I couldn't do anything that I thought made me happy, or I could choose to do something different. And so I tried to be really proactive. I started this like random side hustle, making crocheted scarves, just trying to do something, you know, like I found that when we are sad, you have to do something about it or else you're just going to sink into the sad, right? And so through that pregnancy too, I started researching postpartum health and fitness. And that's when I started looking for coaches. So that's when I found Jeff and Jenny later. And I really started to try and build this relationship with myself and my body. And I honestly prayed. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but like I prayed and I would say in my prayers, like, please bless me to see myself the way you see me. Please bless that I can love myself the way that you love me. And it had to be a daily prayer and a daily ritual to make this happen, or else I would never have found that love. And so it's kind of cool because after I had my second baby, I saw myself in the mirror and it was like that movie Shallow Hal, like as if like goggles had been put on my eyes. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, hot dang, like what a hot thing. Like you haven't exercised in 9 months and like you look amazing. And I look back at my before pictures and I honestly, it's not like shocking to see that I looked like that, but it was kind of surprising being like, I didn't see myself as like a little fluffy body. Like I saw myself as this beautiful thing. And so being able to start at a healthy mindset and start at this place of like, okay, I love what I see and I want to just improve and feel healthy so I can be there in the long haul, you know, be there long term for my kids and be the very best person I can. And then I also wanted to take the opportunity to show any mom or any woman out there that just because we don't get our bodies back after baby doesn't mean we can't have a better body. We can't have a better perspective and we can't have a better life. You know what I mean? And so without like surgeries or, you know, I don't know, whatever, people kind of get like wrapped up in the physical. So I wanted to show people that it's possible to lose weight. It's possible to do all those things naturally and with a good perspective through it. And so it's been a real blessing doing that for the last 3 years. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it started.
I love that so much. And a lot of people come to me and they want to be competitive or something. They want to like, train for a bikini competition. And I don't think a lot of trainers do that first perspective type thing. Like, okay, so here's what healthy body fat really looks like. Like, here's where we're going to take you, like where it's not, you're not going to stay. And I always kind of explain to people like right now, like you're healthy, you are beautiful, but we all want to be better. So I can help you be better yourself. But like, I never want to make people feel like they need to be more and they're not starting in a really great place. So anyways, I that's what I like to talk about when I'm working with women in the beginning, because there's so much pressure on us to like look a certain way and feel a certain way. So I think that's great. Let's see, that's my next question for you. How How did you make the leap into in working for yourself? It sounds like you've been doing it for 10 years. Did you have another job while you did it, or has this been pretty much independent work for the last 10 years of your life?
So for the last 10 years, I've just been like in fitness. So I do this dinosaur hands, but just in fitness. And so I've actually worked for gyms. I did personal training for gyms. And so it's like those medium, like you're kind of hired by these people, but they don't really promote you, like, that life.
Working for myself too, because as a personal trainer, they're like, hey, you're hired, but now like promote yourself and like put your own posters and get your own clients and we'll take half of your money. So it's basically like entrepreneurship right away.
Like, no one really tells you that. So that's kind of how it started, but I mostly was doing group fitness until the last 3 years when online coaching kind of started picking up. Like I hadn't heard of it until I found our coaches. And so then I realized I could do a lot more for women in 1 hour online than I could in 1 hour with one person in face-to-face. And I also liked doing that. I kind of made that jump when I realized first that, and then second that I could be here with my kids and helping someone online. And so it was kind of nice. It was very liberating. But then also I started this company, my Maree Fitness, last year, and that's a subscription site for women. So it's super awesome because it's a place where I decided to make full-length workout videos, give meal plans and recipes, and kind of make like this online hub where women could jump in and find all the tools that they needed for their fitness journeys. And it's super nice because then that way, again, we can reach so many more women than I ever could when I was promoting myself one-on-one for personal training at a gym. And so I kind of I've always wanted to have like impact, I guess. Impact is my number one driving force. And so when I saw that the opportunity with this, I needed to go for it. It wasn't even a question. Gotta jump on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I get to talk to a lot of women who own their own businesses, work from home, and are mothers, and they say how freeing it is, how much they're able to be there for their children and focus on their company. And so that's awesome. I'm glad that you found that. You said that you've really started kickstarting your online training in the last 3 years, which is simultaneously once you started discovering and marketing yourself through social media.
Yeah. I started with like 150 followers. And so that was crazy to try and like learn how to do that and try and grow organically. It's so hard.
So, I mean, I've been talking a lot about marketing ourselves lately, and I'm obviously hosting that event that is called Boss Ladies Night Out. Have you heard about that at all?
I've seen it, but I don't know a ton about it. Tell me all the things.
It's basically to promote women who are in business, so they can go out and network, meet other women in business, support females supporting females, and female photographers are going to be there, all female-run businesses, and you can get a bunch of tickets to get marketing material that's professionally done. There's going to be professional hairstylists, makeup artists, and then you get all these images that you can use in your marketing yourself for your social media. So a lot of women who run their own businesses, we're trying to educate them and teach them how to market themselves. And you do such a great job at that. I'm taking a little segue from the interview just because I'm curious. What did you start doing to start building your following?
I kind of felt like I needed to just start talking openly about what wasn't being talked about. So especially when I started documenting my fitness journey, or fitness journey from back to baby, or whatever, you know what I mean. And I kind of felt this need to just be very open, being like, you know what, this is where I'm starting, and I hope that it's okay that you guys are seeing this fluffy bod on the internet, and I'm just going to be very open and real with you. And I think that's something that a lot of people lack, is like, when you find out that you're good at speaking in one way, you have to stick to it, kind of thing. Like for me, I'm kind of a bleeding heart. And so when I realize that people are looking for emotion, they're looking for real life, someone to relate to them, someone that's kind of walked their shoes, and they talk about it. It's like, it's magnetic. And so it's been kind of awesome, because then honestly, just being able to openly share my story has been the best way to market myself, because when people, I've found more and more, the more I talk, that I'm not the only one that has that story. There are a lot of women that have had postpartum depression. There are a lot of women that have been trying to find self-love and find their way back from having a baby and be a good mom and all this stuff. And so doing that, and then just constantly trying to reach out to other women that have done the same, whether they're lifestyle bloggers or just on Instagram, so they could share my story and I could share theirs, and then just kind of networking and going through that way has been really huge. Again, word of mouth has been really big, but then mostly just trying to be honest with my story.
I love that. And the last girl I talked to specifically about marketing yourself, there's definitely being vulnerable and the human experience where everybody else is going through the same things that you've going through. Maybe not exactly, but there's definitely something powerful in being vulnerable and being able to relate to somebody. I can tell you personally, when I see before and after pictures of like women that I just think have been fit and perfect their whole lives, how much of an impact that makes, because it's just like, okay, like this is a struggle for everyone. This is something that, you know, the people who are like this like have to go through and change. And I mean, maybe not everybody, but I'm more likely to relate to the people who are real than the people who were born with that body and they're trying to tell me how to be fit.
No, it is true, because it's like it's hard to hire someone that you never know. It's like you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to lose weight. How am I supposed to trust you? I love that you said that, because it is true. It is so true.
Like you're born an ectomorph and now you basically do whatever you want, but I'm going to listen to you about how to lose 50 pounds when you've never done it. But yeah, so I absolutely love that. And as far as vulnerability is concerned, I want to talk to you about how much, you know, you have a really good presence for your business, and then you also have your personal page. What do you keep personal and what do you share? Like, what is that for you?
I have a personal page mostly for like my family, because I started kind of feeling weird. Like I started trying to be really strategic about my grid, for example, on Instagram. And I have like a certain pattern that I try to maintain. And I started feeling guilty being like, okay, but my kids are growing up and my family's following this and they probably don't want to see as much of my before and afters as much as I want to see of my kids or whatever's going on in my life. And so I started kind of feeling like weirdly guilty. And so I started that page mostly for them. And that way I could use my page as real strategy. And it's still something I kind of struggle with, because I know that people want to see family, but then I had someone out of nowhere, just this like random stranger that was like, this is why your Instagram is failing, because no one knows who they are, no one cares, no one cares, no one cares. And I was so like taken back, being like, I thought I like seeing people's kids, like I don't know. So it's still kind of like a thing I struggle with. I'm still trying to figure out, because I don't know, because I want to maintain that like level and let people feel like they know me. Like one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten is like, I feel like I know you because you're you, but I don't ever want that to change, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's something I'm like still trying to figure it out, but my family page is mostly just my kids and the dumb things that we do as a family. But then just trying to figure that in. I don't know. How do you do it? Do you put personal stuff on your...
I do the grid mapping also. And I agree, like if I'm following somebody and I'm going to be invested in their product and them, like there's a point where you want to know a little bit about them. Mm-hmm. Like that's what really brings people in. And so I have like a map, and then I have one spot in every 6, I think, where I get to put something that's like personal to me, but not like me. So like I'll put things that I love. So I'll put like a picture of me and my family, a picture of my cats, a picture of me and my friends, like things that I really love and care about. And this is like the free spot. And hands down, it always gets the least likes.
It always does. And I don't know why.
I love my parents. So like, screw everybody that doesn't care.
I think my parents are cute. I don't know.
But it doesn't matter, because for me, that's like my one like spot that gives people big, this is a real person, and I'm gonna keep it there. And obviously it's not a lot of space, so I feel like good about keeping that. But then, you know, I've got my other squares like for marketing, and then of course health and fitness meals is pretty much only marketing. And that's what's interesting too, is that when it's only like product, people lose interest too, and you don't get interaction. So a lot of my personal marketing and my personal page does better. And that's why we really talk about getting behind your product and marketing yourself with it, because nobody's going to sign up from Andi Maree Fitness if they don't know and love Andi Maree.
It's true. It's really awesome. I love her so much. Lady named Jenna Kutcher.
You're cutting out. Can you try that for me one more time?
Yeah. Let me figure this out. Have you ever heard of Jenna Kutcher?
It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
She's a really awesome marketing guru, and I love her. Oh, am I cutting out still?
No.
Oh, okay. She's like, I followed her for like the last 2 years, and I love her because her marketing is kind of follows like Gary Vaynerchuk, but she has a very soft personality and very like, she's very easy to listen to and follow. But she talked about how she does like, she tries to alternate 5 different things about her, and then only one of them is about her business, because she talked about how important it is to build a connection. If your business has to do with you, then you have to be the forefront of it, because people don't want to build a connection. Like, you don't think of Nike and you're like, oh, I love Nike so much. It's like, no, there's probably someone that uses it that you fell in love with that happens to use Nike, kind of thing. Or it's the product or the culture around it. I don't know if anyone likes Nike anymore, but anyway, but it's like, normally like the culture around it or the person. And so I totally see it's so hard to like figure out if we're not a product, it has to be like us using the product or us being the product. But yeah, it's interesting how like the connection is so important to like build and let people know who we are and what we believe and what we love, but it doesn't get the likes. It's so weird. I don't know. It's okay. We'll just keep doing us.
Well, I wanted to ask you specifically, if you had one piece of advice from your experience that you'd like to leave women with today, what would it be?
I think be yourself. I've had a lot of friends that have wanted to start businesses, and they focus so hard on it kind of goes with what we were just talking about. What is liked the most for Instagram? It's like, I want to do this, but I know that on Instagram people get bugged with. I know that people don't like, and the truth is, when I talk to women, it's just people like us for us. People follow you because they love you, and they don't follow you because you are guessing what they might like and you're trying to post what they might like. It's like they follow you because you're genuine and because you're you. We each have a beautiful, special gift and a special message that we each have, and we're just here to share it. And the only way to do that is to share it through and through the way we're supposed to be and the way we are genuinely. So maybe just don't be afraid of the message inside of you. And if someone doesn't like it, it's fine. There are 10 more people that will love you and love you for your message and your honesty and for sharing your gift.
And people can read like authenticity, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not being true to yourself, if you're like not being true to your brand, they're like, it just comes off phony. And a lot of people who try to like project a certain image, it's almost like this robot perfection that nobody can relate to, that nobody, no one's buying it, and nobody, nobody is like invested in you if that's what you're projecting. I agree. Mm-hmm. All right. Finally, this is meant to be like the advice column portion for female business owners. And so I want to talk to you about something you've experienced recently, and I think it's important to talk about, is business mergers. Because a lot of people, if you have something good going on, and a lot of other people do, you find good partnership opportunities. And talk to us about yours that you were considering, and talk to us about their company and your benefits and costs and how you came to the conclusion that you did.
So the biggest thing when it came to any business, I think, is the people you serve and trying to deliver what's very best for them and how to get them the things that they need. When people follow us and when people buy from us, it's because we have value and that they need, right? And so when it came down to it, I had been brainstorming and racking, just trying to figure out what I could do to kind of take the next step with my business. And so there are a lot of things that I feel like I'm strong in. For example, building fitness programs, writing workouts, and stuff like that. But when it comes to marketing, I am still so new. I've spent this last year reading more and studying more and having a face buried in a computer more than I ever have. And at some points, it's so good to learn that. It's totally valuable, and I'm so grateful that I've learned most of those things. But there are some times when it's just been more frustration and versus helpful. And so I'll have like more breakdowns than I wish I needed, than I wish I wanted. No one wants breakdowns, but I just thought it was time to move on with a company that is strong in that aspect. And what's kind of cool is like, there are so many companies out there. So it's like, if you're looking to ever merge with a company, there are some things that I would look at first. So first, do you blend with a company? Do they align with your message? Because anytime we do anything like that, so whether it's merging with a company or doing product or collaborations with Instagram, other brands and stuff, you have to make sure it's not just about money. You have to make sure it's not just about getting free product. It has to be something that aligns with you, because you're taking it to your following that they trust you, and they're already buying stuff that we promote. So it's like, if you're going to give them a crappy product, they're not going to think we're valuable. Kind of going back to what you were saying, like, people know when you're phony. People know when you're inauthentic. And the best way to do that is to give them something they don't need. And so when I was like really trying to dive in, I was reading this book called High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And he talked about, like, there's something scary that you need to do right now that's going to push your company where you need to be to serve the people that follow you the way they need. And so I was just kind of stuck in this like weird rut, being like, I could spend more time focusing on marketing, this marketing aspect that I really hate, or I could just hire someone that's better at it. So then I can do what I do best, and they can do what they do best, and together we can grow. And so that was the biggest motivating factor for me. And so anyone that's looking into that, it's super valuable if you find the right company. And something else that you want to be aware of is that there's a good, solid legal process that you want to go through. Like, it's just insurance for both of you. But you want to make sure that everything's done super right and super clean, but it does take forever. That's good. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, so your major thing is you were looking for a merger for marketing, and you felt like this company was in line with you and everything was good, and you have a good relationship with the owner. And what made you decide to not?
So yeah, so we did end up merging, and it was interesting because at first both of us were really motivated and really excited about it, but then it was so interesting. Like, there's really nothing more to say that it was just a gut feeling on both our ends. Like, both of us had the same gut feeling that it's like, although we worked well together, although the products are similar, we just don't feel right about it right now. And maybe like the door's open in case we ever change our minds. And we're always there. We've offered being like, if you need help with this, let me help you. And if I need help, I feel totally comfortable asking you for help as like maybe a side hire kind of thing. And I think it just has to be like a gut thing. Like, I think we know better. But it was such a good, humbling experience for me to be able to go to someone that's smarter than me in that, in that area, being like, you know what, I know that you are so valuable in this. I know that you're so good at this. And just being able to kind of put my pride away and ask for help was so liberating for me, honestly. Versus even if it did work out and we were able to like blow up our companies together, that would have been great. But then just knowing that I have it in me to be like, I don't know all the answers. I do need help, and sometimes I can ask for it. That was so good for both of us, I think. So nice.
Yeah, I think that more people, need to be more comfortable like asking for help. But with this women networking thing that I've been doing and like talking to and interviewing lots of other women in business, I find that mostly people just want to be helpful and want to see other people succeed also. And so I've learned so much just like talking to people about, what they do for, for marketing, or what they do for promoting or sales or anything. And I've already learned about more platforms, more apps, more things to edit. And my business has grown so much just opening up and talking with other women about it. And so I've got some good interviews that you should check out about YouTube, people who did YouTube video specialists, people that talk about a lot about marketing themselves and getting some tools. I'm probably going to have a Facebook discussion panel on Facebook advertising, because a lot of people have questions about that. But yeah, I think that generally, if you are just wanting somebody to take over a part of your business that you don't want to do, I would say that's probably not the best idea to just merge to get rid of something, which is, I think they probably made a good decision. Like, I was told to treat the equity in your company like gold. Like, you don't give away percentages to people when you can pay somebody to do the work that they're going to do. And so they're only going to be invested in a project to X amount. So I don't know, I think I've taken that to heart a lot, I think. And I get that is like, you don't just get a partner and hope that they're as invested in your company as you are. But
think about merging, when you think about a partner, it's not just sorry if it's echoey, but it's not like just a one-time one and done thing. It's like a marriage. She was just like, she said it, she was like, it's like you're going into this like real life commitment, and things get really ugly when you also have a baby in it, which is your company kind of thing. She's like, you have to like raise this thing and make it grow together. And if you guys don't agree on everything, or if one person's not as committed, then it's just like everything is going to fall apart. And so I loved hearing that kind of comparison, that kind of perspective. And it's true, like there are so many people that are really good at taking tasks off that you can hire for like one project at a time. And that is so much smarter. And I think taking those opportunities like your event coming up, or taking opportunities like anywhere, just to be like, hi, this is what I do. Like, I've met so many people that do all sorts of things I would have never guessed, because I would have never asked. It's just talking to people and realizing that you can connect so many things to help them or help you. It's so awesome.
All right, so we're getting to the end of the interview, and this is the portion where you get to ask me a question. I don't know what you're going to ask me, so it's really just like my on-the-spot moment, me working on my vulnerability, right? And like, yeah, ask me whatever you'd like, and I am going to be honest.
Okay. The biggest question that I had for you was, what is the hardest part of not only being a female entrepreneur, but being an entrepreneur in the health space in such a saturated market? Like here in Utah, we have so many people that do fitness, and so it's hard to find like a difference. So for at least health and fitness meals, or doing this other, your women in business job, what has been the hardest part of all of it for you?
I know. So you're right as far as like Utah saturated fitness industry, like everybody has fitness businesses, but that works for and against me, I think. And probably you also, because for one thing, it's a community. There's a huge fitness community. People know each other, people help each other. And I definitely think that everybody's not offering the same thing. So it's really easy to say, get partnerships and like, you know, add to somebody's service and have relationships, especially when it comes to like building a following and a network. There are not nearly as many. I would say my specific market of food prep, it's a lot rarer, because it's not an easy thing to get into. So it's not like there's a ton of other companies. So that makes it a little bit easier. However, because it's a popular thing, I almost always hear about a new company like every other week almost. It's like, oh, I haven't heard about them yet. But there haven't been a lot of like that have been long standing like my company. So it's like they're high by like, it didn't work out. It wasn't as easy as we thought. And I'm like, go figure it. It's a really hard business. Yeah. So yeah, like I think it's popular, but like I don't think that there's a ton of specific food prep. But I really feel empowered by, you know, being a female in this business. I definitely don't have, let's see. No, there are a couple other ones, and I've actually talked with some of the other female-run food prep companies, and I really like them. I admire them. I think that you don't have to look at it like you're in competition necessarily. Like you can actually there's plenty of people looking for the service, and I wouldn't take pride in trying to undermine another company that's another small business, or like make people think that, oh, we're better than them, or I'm going to tell you about why they're awful. I make a really strong stand to not do that, because I employ a lot of people and I'm responsible for a lot of people's jobs, and I think it's poor business to, as a small business owner, to wish ill of other small businesses. So yeah, I've talked with some of these other women, and like I know what they do and how it's different. Some talked about collaborations or mergers even with some of them, like what we were talking about, but in the long run, like there's maybe too much differences for that to really work. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, what was the rest of your question? So that's kind of me in fitness industry and how I view it. I'm not trying to be a cutthroat competitor, but
so good and so admirable. It's like every time I've talked to you about business or about business or anything, you're very supportive of whatever anyone's doing, and I think that's so important. And I think people will see that in you and see that as such a strength, and then they're going to trust you. And then like when you see someone like that, you can't help but be like, well, how can I make you grow, because you're so awesome and help the rest of us do so well. You know what I mean? So I love that about you.
Well, thank you. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I started doing the female things. One of them was that I just straight up realized how many women I knew that were also in business and doing the whole like entrepreneur thing. And I was like, this is so rad. Like, I'd like to get behind this. I would like for, women to go to each other for their own needs. And yeah, that's why we have the event. It's all female based. And if you come out, you can meet some other female photographers and get you can get marketing material for that at that event, but you could also have a relationship with these people, and maybe they'd want to collaborate with you so that you say, hey, this is photographs by so-and-so. And I know a lot of people at a point don't pay for their marketing material anymore, which is always like the goals, right? But yeah, it was really great talking with you today, Andi. I'm so thankful for you joining me. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about what I need from you for our feature and when it's going to go up. And yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
All right. Thank you, Andi. We're going to say bye to our followers as we go off the live feed. Goodbye.